I was growing up with a mother who was always comparing me to someone else
Mm,
by saying that someone else is better than I am.
mm,
So that developed in me feeling of not good enough.
mm,
That developed a strong trauma that that I don't deserve, that I'm not good enough, that I need to do better, better,
mm,
and
mm,
better.
mm,
And that led me to relationships where I was trying so hard to be loved, to be
mm,
seen, to be
mm.
valued, where I didn't recognize all those signs of abuse.
I never give up. I never give up. I never give
Hi
up.
guys, welcome back to Neff Inspiration, my show on YouTube and as a podcast with me, your host, Stefan Neff. Today, I have got the honor and privilege to have a success catalyst with me. The moment I read that, I thought, ooh, interesting. I need to meet this person. And this person, this gorgeous woman, is CY. CY has made it her mission to help others to grow, to become the best version of themselves. But she is not really sugarcoating things. She has got a very beautiful attitude that we'll explore today. Because when you work with her, when you talk to her, you soon realize that she will tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. So, CY, welcome to my show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. That was a quite introduction. Thank you so much.
Oh no, it's amazing because you're focusing so much on the outcome and are quite goal orientated, and you've through your life, through your own transformation, you have developed a series of habits that has been very successful for you. And as it so happens, when we explore them, I will probably recognize many of them in my own life. So I can't wait
Yeah,
to actually dive into that. A success catalyst, my goodness. And that is quite an important one because in theory, success is actually something we can achieve. All of us can achieve in our lives.
absolutely.
Yet, so many of us are out there constantly self sabotaging. They are not
Ooh,
moving towards their goals. They are getting easily distracted. And there are always reasons for that. So, therefore,
yeah.
it is so timely that we look at ourselves and have this open and honest discussion today, be authentic when it comes to where we have been and where we nowadays are going. What is that transformation? How did that come true for you? Your beautiful accent is clearly not from the United States, and I guess that is already the root to or the reason that some of those things that happened to you catalyzed your transformation, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. Oh, you just reading my soul. How you doing that?
Tell me more.
Yeah, I've been to United States for 5 years,
Hmm.
and this beautiful story started with love. I fall in love with a beautiful man who was who was just perfect. And now I'm afraid when someone is saying like, "Oh, she's or he's perfect for me." I was like, "Be careful," you know. And I ended up being in abusive relationships. I am domestic violence survivor in the past. I am not feeling bad about that. I'm feeling grateful because what happened to me, all that mess, all that danger, all that scary, ugly things brought me to best version of myself. I'm still developing because there is no limits to become better version of yourself. But who ZY was 7 years ago and who ZY is now, oh my God, it's two different people. But the core, the desire of protecting yourself, the desire of loving yourself, of celebrating yourself is still there. And I think that's why I survived, because when everything happened to me, let me dive in this story. That was beautiful winter night before the Christmas, and I got kicked out of the house on the street with no friends, no family here because I wasn't allowed to talk to anyone. And I ended up living in my car by myself in a foreign country. And I didn't speak English this well as I'm speaking now. I didn't know much rules. I didn't know much about this country. I remember myself sitting in my car in a parking lot next to one of the supermarkets, and I was crying, and I didn't know what to do. I remember saying to myself, "Oh my God, life didn't prepare me for this." But guess what? I was wrong. What happened to us always has its meaning. It has meaning that will give you strength and power to reclaim your own power, to see how strong, excuse me, and how powerful you are regardless what's happening to you. And we will go there, but the biggest help that I get for myself, that was acknowledging my small minor milestones. So we're going to talk about this today,
Mm.
deeper,
Yeah.
how celebrating small wins helped me to move forward, to survive in a foreign country, and to be me being living in my car, to own my own home right now
Mm.
with no help, with no guidance, just me, myself, and I.
Mm.
All the guidance that I've been listening to is my body, my heart, my soul, and my desire. What I want to be, who, where I want to be, whom I want to be. So that is something
Mm.
that is really strong. And sometimes we are, okay, let's be honest, most of the times people underestimate how important is a relationship with you.
Oh yeah.
Not the relationships with your partner,
Oh yeah.
not relationships with your parents, kids, society, or whatever.
Mm.
The most important and valuable relationships, more loving and supporting, that you need to build is with yourself. And the second you will realize this, you will understand that you will never, ever, ever
Mm.
again be lonely,
Mm.
because you will always have yourself by your side.
Absolutely love that. Having said that, when we look at success and when we look at resilience, often that can be jeopardized and really cut to pieces at a very early stage, or it can be strengthened and built at a very early stage. Those formative years between 2 and 6, 7 years of age, that is often where core beliefs are laid down and where certain behavioral patterns are laid down. And it's really, really difficult. Most of us don't realize that. But if you have got a lot of trauma, for example, in those early years, then it is
Of
probably
course.
more likely that you end up again in an abusive
Hmm.
relationship later on.
Absolutely.
Yet here you are facing this new challenge in a new country with a very non-supportive partner, to say the least. And what was what were the core beliefs that you had? Was there a previous story that was either positive or negative and therefore guided you?
You mean into abusive relationships?
In the sense of were there adverse childhood experiences and which core
Um,
beliefs were there so that what I'm pointing towards is unfortunately we sometimes develop things like fear avoidance or an attachment style that is absolutely please don't leave me, please don't leave me, please don't leave me. You're completely focused on others. And these things can really wreak havoc as far as your own behavior later on is concerned.
yes,
Did you
absolutely.
recognize anything like that in
Of
yourself?
course. Of course, I was growing up with a mother who was always comparing me to someone else
Mm,
by saying that I someone else is better than I am.
mm,
So that developed in me feeling of not good enough.
mm,
That developed a strong trauma that I need, that I don't deserve, that I'm not good enough, that I need to do better, better,
mm,
and
mm,
better.
mm,
And that led me to relationships where I was trying so hard to be loved, to be
mm,
seen, to be
mm,
valued, where I didn't recognize all those signs of abuse.
mm,
Now I studied a lot of about behavior of abusers, narcissists, and all those manipulative peoples. Now I can smell the abuser if he will be around the corner and I wouldn't even see him. I will say to my friend like, "Oh, that guy or that lady is saying something. I can smell it." So it's really hard to trick me. Still, some professionals can be, and still, I don't want everyone think that if I overcome trauma, it will never come back into my life. This is
Mm,
not true. And when people say like I overcome trauma, I do not believe them just because this is something that is living with you for your entire life. The only thing that you can do with that is just learn how to deal with that, learn how to manage that, because the trauma is the trauma, and especially when you were young,
mm,
it's basically built in you. But what you do when you recognize it, you just like take it, oh, I see you, my friend. Now can you sit somewhere in the shelf? Okay, I see you. Don't move. Don't move. I see you. And every time your trauma is sending you some signals or some,
yes,
I don't know, some people, you just like, thank you, dear. I see you, but not today. Not today.
I love that.
So
That's
this is
that,
something.
and I love it that you recognize that this radical self-compassion, this developing a new relationship with yourself, because you could equally be angry about yourself. You could feel shame, you could feel guilt, you could feel very negative about these thoughts arising. Why do I have to think like that? Especially someone like you, because you have got a tendency to be a perfectionist. You are going for the goal and you're very focused in what you're doing. And if things then undermine you, if things go wrong, there is very much a temptation for you to actually take the whip out and whip yourself and really blame yourself. Are these thoughts coming out? Do I read you right?
Yes, this is absolutely, first of all, this is the first sign of your healing, that you actually healing when you acknowledging that I have it, and
Yeah.
you acknowledging this not just with your own words, like, yeah, I do, I know, my mom did this, my dad did that.
Hmm.
That is not true. When you say, okay, that was something was done to me back that time. Okay, how this will impact me in my reality,
Hmm.
how it is actually now has impact on me right now.
Hmm.
Okay, I know it means this, and that. As I just said, right? Let's talk about my example. I was needy, I was clingy, and I wasn't self confident. Why? Just because, okay, how I can help myself. Because you can go to the therapy for years and it's not working.
Hmm.
Two ways. Either your therapist is not diving in deep in the roots of what's going on with you right now, or you just don't want to take a responsibility for that. You have actually benefits for holding that trauma.
Hmm.
Yes, it might sound really painful for someone, but if someone is suffering and they don't change anything, they choose to suffer. They
Hmm.
choose to stay in a position where they are. And doesn't matter how loud he or she will scream, no, I hate it. It's ridiculous you saying so. No, dear. I'm so sorry. I'm here to tell you what you need to hear. I'm not sugarcoating you. I'm not trying to make you feel bad, or I'm not trying to, I don't know, upset you. this is the truth. If you're not changing this, you
Yeah.
love this.
Ooh.
Oh, my husband or my wife is this, that, and that. Okay, have you guys spoke about this? Yes,
Yeah.
we did. Did you I don't know, make some an agreement how in the future you're gonna be in a situation like this? Yes. So what? Nothing happened. Okay. What are you doing now? Oh, that's okay. He's just an asshole and I'm still with him. So then why are we talking about this? Why are you complaining about this?
Ooh.
Again, I am not against um, some misunderstanding in a family. I am against when someone is constantly complaining and whining about something in their life. It can be job,
Mm,
it can be friends, it can be parents, children, spouses, partners, and still there,
mm,
you choose to be there because you have
mm,
some other benefits. For example, woman staying with a man who is not really treating her well. It's not terrible, but she's not happy. Why?
mm,
Because there can be financial dependence, there
mm,
can be emotional dependence. Some of them, if they were staying like a homestay mom for a long time, it's really scary to go in the market and trying to find some job for herself to provide herself. And there she's just sitting like it's comfortable. Yes, he's not the best man.
mm,
He's not the best man on the street, but you know we've already been through a lot. We have two kids,
mm,
and she's living her unhappy life. It's okay.
mm.
It's ordinary.
Yep.
Everyone, someone even has like worth, right? But actually, imagine yourself at your 80s and you're looking back at your life. What do you feel? Do you feel happy, grateful to yourself
Mm.
that you made all those choices, or you just like, mm, yeah, I should leave him, yeah,
Mm. I,
and
I love what you're saying. I absolutely love what you're saying. It is when you are not yet so much in pain and so far out of your comfort zone that you truly have to
yep,
change, but you're just outside of your comfort zone. And there are situations where this is really good when we actually work on ourselves and the principle of fear inoculation. So when you are afraid of something and you expose yourself a little bit more to it, a little bit more to it, a little bit more, you push your
mm-hmm,
comfort zone out, 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 out. And that is a very beautiful thing if you do that on purpose. Having said that, if we are living in this uncomfortable zone all the time, it is just uncomfortable enough to raise your cortisol, to raise your all the neurochemicals in your brain to actually have adverse effects on your mental well-being, on your physical well-being. But it's not yet bad enough that you actually take the plunge and actually try to get out of that situation. In this case, the relationship that you're pointing towards, but that could be a job, that could be a unhappy or a difficult relationship with your children. It is so hard. There are many times when we make do, when we accept things where if we were to address the problem or the situation in a different way, we would have potentially so much more to gain and very likely very little to lose. But it's that catastrophizing. It's the fear
oh,
of the
absolutely,
unknown that stops us. And that's so hard.
and yes, absolutely. And to be clear here, to experience fear, to feel fear, that's okay. That's
Mm,
normal. This is human being. It's our feelings. One of our core feelings is a
mm,
fear, and that's okay. It help us not, if we wouldn't be afraid
mm.
of something, we would never live up to 150, 100 and more years because it's like we don't have 9 lives as cats. we need we need to be scared or afraid of something to
Well, that's
prevent
true.
ourselves from something really bad.
Absolutely. And that's beautiful that you say that because ultimately, this is the reason that we as a species have evolved. We are constantly looking for the danger. And because of that, we have survived maybe more. Take the example of needle phobia. Needle
Mm-hmm.
phobia, about 10% of people hate to go to the doctor, have blood drawn, etc. And people see this as a weakness. In reality, these are the super survivors. I always tell
Mm-hmm.
that or have told that my anesthetic patients, you're a super survivor because 50,000 years ago, your ancestors realized if I don't get stabbed, I live longer. So therefore, they developed a fear of being stabbed. Congratulations. And that was laid down into your DNA. So there is actually fear is something very good. Yet, in our modern society, this fear is equally prevalent, but our body can't distinguish between the real saber-toothed tiger in front of the cave and the email or that phone call or that maybe challenging discussion with your partner over the dinner table. It will give you exactly the same fear response, and that's so hard. And that's where we see this huge amount of rise in cardiovascular disease, in behaviors that don't help us, such as escaping either social media or food, the food addictions that we see nowadays. We try to run, but we run towards something that distracts us. We are the escape
Yeah.
masters. We are not masters
Yeah.
in addressing the challenges in our lives. I want to come back to that dark winter night where you had no money, where you slept in your car, where you had to start from scratch. You probably had only the clothes that you were wearing at that time. How did that story continue there?
Honestly, that is a fog. There is
Ah,
something when you are ended up like in a survival
yeah,
mode, you just doing everything to survive.
yeah.
And back to what you just said, we don't like there is no good and bad feelings. Feelings are feelings.
Oh,
It's just society, people who divided those bad and good feelings. Why they did that? Because with, for example, fear, anger, and sadness, we don't know how to deal at the first sight. We'd rather do like be happy always, and because we know how to do that, that is easier to
mm,
digest
mm,
than fear, anger,
mm.
sadness, and all that things.
Uh,
And I was being back to your question. Again, as I said, I've been kind of new to the country and I didn't have much friends. But back that time, I've already had a full-time job. And that was the only person that I could text. That was my ex-boss.
mm,
And I said, his name is David. He has a beautiful family who agreed to help me. I said, and they even different religion than I am. And based on their religion, forgive me if I'm saying this wrong, but it's how I remember it. So the people from different religion cannot be on the same level as their family. And I said, like, this is what happened to me. I'm on the street. Can I please? That was a big, huge step for me to ask someone to help me
wow.
because I've got to the point where he was always saying, no one will believe me. I'm a nice guy outside. I'm a good man, and you are the only one who is, excuse me for my language, bitch.
Mhm.
And everyone knows this, and no one will believe you. And guess what? I was believing him that no one will believe me. And what happened to me, I was like, no, I'm in a situation where either I'm asking the worst thing that can happen to me, they would say no. And then I will see what else I can do, where to go. I didn't know about existence, shelter, other help, food aid. Like I didn't know about all that. Now I know that you can go to the shelter, get some help. There's like
Mm,
some pro bono lawyers who can help you. And I texted him at the middle of the night, and he's like, do you need me to come over?
mm,
That was something. I felt like I was blessed because that is just my boss.
Wow.
And his wife let me stay in their garage.
Beautiful.
But that is something.
Beautiful.
But that garage, it is a garage, but they somehow managed to turn it into some kind of room. So that was really cool, but much better than on a street in the car, and
Absolutely.
much more safe to
Mm,
stay there with the
absolutely.
family. And later on, I started talking to the people, some like really careful, someone who will actually believe me, someone who knows that I'm not sick. It's not my imagination. It's what actually
Mm,
happened to me. And I lost a job at that time with this person that I've been working for who let me stay in his house. There
mm,
was some financial situation in his business. So
mm,
I ended up living uh, in my car at his garage. And then I lost the job. So I didn't have a job. And I was like, okay, looks like things getting better and better. What I supposed to do? And you know what? Despite all these terrible things, great things. Now I say great. Back the time, I was so afraid. I was so scared. I didn't know
mm,
where to go
mm,
because I, I couldn't even go back home
mm,
because of what happened in my country.
mm, mm,
I I didn't know where to go. So the only way for me was my only choice was to stay here and rebuild myself, my life from scratch, which I did absolutely perfect. I'm so proud of myself. Oh God, it took me some time to realize how strong, how smart, how wise I am. And I'm not just cherishing myself here. I want everyone to see these good qualities in themselves. I
mm,
just want everyone to realize and compare themselves to themselves
mm.
5, 10 years ago. And they would be surprised and would say, like, oh my God, I'm so proud of you, my dear. You did incredible, unbelievable things. If you would ask me 7 years ago, 5 years ago, do you think you can handle it? I would look at you and run away because I would say, like, what are you trying to put me in through? Like, what are you talking about? What do you mean I'm gonna live in my car in a foreign country? What do you mean I wouldn't have money to eat? What are you talking about? Like, are you crazy? Why are you saying so? And guess what? Now, couple of years, I'm here, and I'm still growing. I'm still developing. I'm still improving. That was a
Beautiful.
terrible night, but at the same time, that was the best night.
You
That
were
gave me
forced to,
so much
yeah,
of it.
you were
Yes,
forced to take action. You were finally
yes,
so
and
far out there that there was no other option than to take massive action in your case.
I don't know if you realized it. What you just said. You said you were forced. And when we procrastinating
Mm.
our
Oh, yeah.
changes, we are afraid to, we we are too afraid, and it was like, okay, I'm gonna sit here on my ass doing nothing. And guess
Yep.
what? Life will push you there. And sometimes it can push you as hard as life pushed me. And please believe me, you don't want to be there. It's really, really interesting situation and place to be in.
It is.
That's why I'm.
Yeah. I mean, you're saying interesting. That is the understatement of the year.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
my actually my approach to the life. I'm not saying hard situation. I'm saying interesting situation.
Beautiful.
Because no, because you know why?
You take
Because
the
if
negative
someone,
emotion out of it.
yes, and if someone will eat you up, you have two exits, up or down.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter, but you will still get out no matter how.
Yeah.
And you choose how you're gonna go. Are you going to go this way? Or are you going to go down?
Hmm.
It's up to you. So, and
There would have been,
we
see why, there are clearly moments that are not as clear. Here you were crying in the car, snot, tears running out of your face. And there would have been very dark moments of you wanting to give up, just curl up in a ball and maybe even thoughts of finishing your life. I wonder how you dealt with those moments. And what would you think nowadays about those moments? Because they're very real. That is, we might wish to not talk about them and we might call them a taboo, but in reality, 10% of the American population, we've got data from the USA, admit to suicidal ideation in the last year. So it's something when everything is against you that you may wish to give up. Did you have these thoughts, and how did you deal with these thoughts?
never, I never
Wow.
had any of those thoughts because my life is so valuable to me.
Mm,
I was out of 8 billions, I was chosen by nature to become. So in the process, when there's like 8 billions, I think when sperm is coming, like chance out of 8 billions to become you who you are. So
mm,
that I couldn't even exist. But now I am here in this world. My beautiful soul is here, and I have this much experience that I am full of this desire to share with everyone. And
mm,
what you just said, so people who've been ever, just for this smidge moment, had that little thought just running across their head, I would say I want to show them with my personal experience that doesn't matter how dark is the moment right now,
mm,
the most important thing just to see in those darkest moments,
mm,
those small wins that you can celebrate, those little minor milestones that
mm.
you need to acknowledge and say, like, at least you showed up. I'm so proud of you.
And 80% of
E-
success is showing up. It's just not
Absolutely.
giving up, isn't it? It's beautiful the way you say that. Did you have a
It's
religious background that held you back from that brink?
no,
No.
I don't have any religious
Okay.
background. It's
Okay. It just,
it's something that is, yeah, it's living inside me. Sometimes I don't even know how I know this, honestly. Sometimes that is, you have your biological age and your soul has its own age.
uh-huh.
And when your soul is wise and ancient, you might carry from other lives. Like I'm not really deeply believe that we need to rely on our soul because we are here in a physical body. We have brain, we have feelings,
Mm,
we have heart, everything. But there is some studies that is saying, and sometimes I think my soul is really ancient and been through many, I don't know, centuries
yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
But it is something that the funny part about you, this is a good question. The funny part is that I've been even 8 years old, and I do remember saying to my mom something really, really deep that not even every adult would be able to acknowledge and say to
Yeah.
another adult.
Yeah.
You want to know what is that?
Yeah.
So when I was a kid, my birthday, not every time they were celebrating my birthday, my parents, and I was upset, and I was like, "How not everyone? Like, how you guys not celebrating me?" And my mom was always saying, "I'm sorry, baby girl, but we don't have money." And I said, "You know what, mom? My birthday is once in a year. So if you would put down $1 every day, by the time I'm having a birthday, you would have $364 because first is, and she's looking at me and it makes absolutely perfect, deep sense. Can you imagine kid 8 years old did all this math in her head and say, you know what, mom? No, 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 no. What you're saying is not truth. If you would put down $1 each day, that would be fine. Oh my God. So this is funny.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. And it's interesting that you talk about that. I certainly had a past life regression experience as well. And I believe that there are some old souls around us. And it's beautiful if you have that experience or that deep knowledge that drives you forward. However, if you believe in these past life regressions, then there will be also lifetimes in which your soul has to learn sadness, has to learn trauma, has to learn the negative impacts and negative emotions. And it's hard because when you're actually in that lifetime and you're experiencing all that negativity, the adversity, the challenges that you struggle to deal with, it's quite nice to think, yeah, okay, in the overall scheme of things, there must be one bad lifetime. But if you're stuck in it, well, makes that a bit hard. But I like to come back to those people who have seen far more trauma, whilst I had my fair share, more than my fair share. There are people which I have to say, okay, I have nothing against them. Viktor Frankl is the classic example, who, as a psychiatrist, survived in the concentration camps and who wrote then a beautiful book thereafter about really the meaning of life and about the importance of being alive. It is There is so much we can do, even in those very dark moments. I love it what you said. Do not give up and believe in yourself. Believe that there will be a change coming. If you compare, if you say this is the dark night of your soul, rest assured that night is darkest just before dawn. So that's a fact. If you say, wow, there's a huge wave of shit hitting me in my life, good. That wave will come and it will pass you. Every wave has an end. Every suffering has an end. And we sometimes can't see that when we're in the darkness. We have given up hope, and I think that is the worst thing. I think the key
Absolutely.
things is that we can learn, we can train ourselves to be living intentional, living
Absolutely.
right now here in this moment, because we can do something about this moment. We can't do anything about the past. We can't do anything about the future. Well, you can prepare yourself
Beautiful.
for the future, but you certainly can live right now, right here. How much is such a
Absolutely.
practice important for you? This intentionality.
It is absolutely important.
Mm,
I don't think there's something better. And you are absolutely right by saying we cannot change the past,
mm,
but we can manage present
yeah.
and we can create our future.
Oh, beautiful. Yes. We create it. And we keep forgetting that. Many of us are basically unintentional. And with that, we are like cork bobbing on the top of the ocean, driven by the
Yep.
currents, driven by the winds. You're not taking a compass bearing and say, okay, at the moment I'm going this way. This is clearly not working. I want to go this way. What do I have to do? How do I get there? And
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
our skill, isn't it? I think that is
It
where
is.
habits come in. That's where celebrating the minor wins comes in. Tell me about the habits
Mm-hmm.
that you created from that night on forward. What were habits
From
that
the
sustained you and created that new beautiful CY, that new beautiful woman out there who is a force to be reckoned?
celebrating small wins, it is a habit. It is built in habit inside my brain,
Mm.
inside my soul, inside my heart. It is not something that will change you overnight.
Mm.
It's not like that. And celebrate it. Plus, the habit is to see if I am in a dark moment, okay, what sources I have right now.
Mm.
So if we just for a second will go back to the period when I was um, in a survival mode.
Mm.
I lost my job and I was like, okay, what I'm gonna do? I'm lost. I don't understand this life at that moment. I didn't understand life at that moment.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, I sat down. I was like, okay, what resources I have right now? I was like, okay, I have a car.
Mm.
How I can make money with my car? Because money, this is what I was craving for. This is something that I needed to protect myself, to find myself a place where to stay, to feed myself, to
Mm.
pay lawyers, to pay all the insurance, to pay all these bills that I need to pay. Because what happened to me, it doesn't reflect on the outside world. That outside world still want me to pay my bills. And I've decided, okay, I have this sources, okay, and I start like moving forward, moving forward, moving forward, step by step, baby steps. Some of the days I was hard on myself. I was like, oh my god, it's there, and I was crying. And please let your feelings be, let your emotions be. If you need to cry, cry, but set up for yourself a time frame. Okay, I'm gonna cry right now, right here for 10 minutes. That's fine. And put yourself back up. If you need to cry for the entire day, please cry for the entire day. If you need to lay down in the bed, and because sometimes those traumas, those situations just knock us out, like just burn us to the ground. And a situation where you so lost, you like driving in a chaos, and you just go ahead and lay down and do what you need. And let's dive in deeper. Like, let's start with the definition of small wins. What is this? What are we talking about here,
Mm.
right? Small wins add some minor milestones, some incremental achievements that contribute to a large goal.
Mm.
At some point, that reinforce momentum,
Mm.
build the confidence, reduce the burnout, reduce
Absolutely.
the procrastination, reduce the self doubt, and reduce the limiting beliefs.
Mm.
This is what just the simple tool can do to you. And I want you to, this is one of the biggest myths, that celebrating small wins, it is some childish, fluffy, girly thing, you
No.
know?
No. Well, then I'm proud to be a child and I'm proud to be a girl. Okay. So
Right,
I
right. But
100% agree with you.
it has direct, not like celebrating small wins, acknowledging your milestones,
Absolutely.
celebrating yourself,
Mm.
has direct neuroscientific and psychological
Mm.
proof and impact on reducing anxiety, first of all.
Mm.
Because when
Mm.
you are in this hard, deep situation, dark situation, what the first feeling are you having? Of course, this is an anxiety.
Mm.
And
Yep.
this will help you
Yep.
to acknowledge that you are in a control, that you controlling the situation, not the situation over you.
Beautiful. And you take action. It's not just control, you're actually taking action. Because we often, when we are full of fear, when we're full of doubt, self doubt, when we're in a negative emotion, we're paralyzed. And by you
Yep.
literally taking action, may that be that you are folding up the washing, or that you're actually cleaning up the kitchen, that you're wiping down the surface, you're brushing your teeth, the sheer fact that you got up and actually had a shower,
Absolute. Yep.
all those little things, they
Mm-hmm.
might sound like nothing, yet at the same
Mm-hmm.
token, there are little wins. This morning,
Yes.
just before the interview here, I actually woke up and I was not in a good mood. My headspace was quite ratty and
Mhm,
anxious and
mhm, mhm,
etc. And I thought, "Ah, I don't need to have a shower." And I forced myself to have a shower and a shave. And then I did a quick clean up. And then I did made my coffee. And I made sure that I'm here on time, despite the fact that I wanted to procrastinate, that I wanted to do anything. It's just your mind sometimes plays real tricks on you. But I
yes.
have got nowadays, I've got this habit of following my habits. So I basically try to really do celebrate the little wins. And the moment I had a shower, I felt so much better. And the moment I
Mhm.
actually achieved that, I felt better. So by the time I came onto this interview here, I had already celebrated probably 5, 6 wins, tiny baby wins, but
Right?
they
I
set
so
me up.
proud of you. Mhm.
Absolutely. And that ratty feeling was gone. Now, it's interesting. Then I started talking with you. So we suddenly had communication and meaningful, purposeful interaction. So that changed my state. Then, just prior to the interview, I did some breathing exercise and I did some physical state change in me. That changed me. So I've got actually
Mhm.
goosebumps
Mhm.
just talking about that little journey
Ooh,
this morning.
good, 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 good,
Well,
good. You
exactly.
should. You
So it is
should.
beautiful. So it is. I'm proud of myself how I changed from that I don't want to be here.
Mhm.
I just want to go
Mhm.
back to bed.
Mhm.
To being here, fully present, living in the moment, enjoying everything because I know that this interview is growing me, is expanding my mind, is reinforcing certain things that I know already are true and giving me little nuggets of wisdom with which I can maybe create new habits, new little wins. And it's amazing. And it's that kind of taking action despite the fact that you don't want to do it. That's really
Yep.
what is called integrity. Integrity is doing the right thing when no one is watching. And here we are.
Mhm.
We both have learned the power of that. And it's so beautiful to get that reinforced from you and I get it spelled out in such a beautiful language. You are an
Yep.
amazing
Yep.
woman there, and your story, your
Mhm.
transformation proves that what you're preaching actually works. From
Yeah.
zero to hero, whilst that sounds like a cliche, well, you are actually a heroine in my eyes because you have
Oh, thank
not
you.
just survived, but you thrived. You're now
Yeah.
going out there and you're making this world a better place by role modeling those changes, those the fact that you're living intentional. That is amazing. It's beautiful to see. It's beautiful to hear because you have infused me with a degree of strength. Your story has
Thank you
helped
so much.
me to go through my own challenges that I'm facing right now and to actually say, okay, yes, I could have just turned over this morning, but have a look. I've done all those little things. What can I do now? Okay, maybe I have a good, healthy, protein rich
Uh,
breakfast. Then I hydrate. Then I will actually go out there and do some exercise, some activity. Then I will
yeah. Yeah.
focus on one thing that I hate to do, whatever that may be. So you are suddenly setting little tiny goals, and because you're achieving them, you're actually feeling so much
Mhm.
better.
Mhm.
You're celebrating
Yes.
the wins.
Absolutely. Yep.
It's a reinforcing kind of
Mm.
thing. It's
Yep.
like you throw the snowball on the top of the mountain, and at the bottom you've got an avalanche coming down. It's that kind
Mhm.
of um, cumulative interest that is happening there, and it's beautiful.
Yep,
Ah,
that's absolutely true. And I really, what you just said, first of all, thank you so much for your kind words. And be careful with that because I will ask you to do one more podcast because it's really nice to hear those nice things from wonderful men. Thank you so much. And the main characteristics of the key characteristics of small wins is that they are just manageable
yeah,
and attainable.
yeah,
So you are not overwhelming yourself.
yeah,
You're not pushing yourself hard forward something.
Yeah.
I don't believe in a passive motivation. I actually against this passive motivation. What is passive motivation? When someone from the stage is yelling, "You can do this, just push harder." You're like, "I believe in you." No, don't do that. People, please stop doing this. I beg you. Because what happened if you are already tired, exhausted, frustrated, procrastinated, and someone is saying like push harder,
Yeah.
what happened to you? You will fall right deep into the darkest moment where you don't want to be in a depression
Yeah.
and you don't want to be there. So celebrating small wins are really manageable.
Exactly.
And it has they trigger when you're celebrating something, it's trigger like a dopamine. It's increasing motivation. Here the motivate I believe in motivation because you motivating yourself. You're just like, okay, this one, ooh, I like it. Like, did I do this? Yes, you did. Yes, my dear. Yes, my honey. Make yourself a name. And for example, if you, what you just said, when you woke up in the morning and your mood is not the way you want to be. My example, I made this beautiful tradition when I wake up in the morning. It's like, good morning, sunshine. And when I'm in a bad mood, when it is grumpy, I woke up, I'm already grumpy. Nothing even happened. I didn't even move out of my bed.
Yeah.
And I'm making fun of myself. It is reinforcing a dopamine.
Yeah.
I'm saying, good morning, fucking sunshine. So I'm just making laugh at my own grumpiness. What I'm saying, I was like, I see you. You just grumpy, my little girl. Like, oh my God, you, my baby, like with love. I'm just, I'm grumpy. I know that I'm grumpy. I know, yes, what do you need? It's just like taking care of your inner child. So you woke up, you grumpy. Just, no, I don't like this. I don't want to that one. And like me as adult, like my inner adult would come to me like I mommy or whatever, just like, good morning, my little fucking sunshine. And it's helping me. Please use the same tool. Feel free. If you just woke up grumpy and you just want to procrastinate everything, just acknowledge it in a funny way. Make it fun of yourself. Just like, oh, my baby boy or my baby girl, I see you. What do you need? Do you need a shower? Like make this, like imagine yourself like you're a 5 years kid, excuse me, or 3 years kid. Just make this little talks, and believe me, it will help you. It will help you. And celebrating small wins, it will each small win will fuel your next step.
Absolutely.
It is like a chain. It's not going anywhere. It's just inside you. And on top of that, the cherry on the top is reinforce your self trust, your self belief. It's reshaping your limiting beliefs. We can make another episode on limiting beliefs because I love those. I love how we can trick our brain. I like to let people know that we are horse. We leading. We are captain of this ship. We leading, and it's proven success. So, and this proves that success is possible. So you're showing yourself. And if you are waking up in the morning, you open up whatever someone have iPads, whatever. Like, or I like to write everything down. And I was like, open up my to-do list. I was like, no, I don't
Yeah.
want to look at this. But when I will wake up and open my done list from yesterday, guess what happened? I was like, what? Yesterday I did all this.
Yeah.
So, and for those who are going to watch our podcast, our episode, excuse me, this is one of the tools. There's something behind me. It's done list, but in a little bit more creative way. Everything that you done during the day, or even like if you working at your desk and you did this and that, just write it down on a post-it note and put it on the wall next to you. Doesn't matter how big. You just send an email, you sent an email to a grumpy CEO who you were procrastinating. You didn't want to talk to that person, but you did it. You did it, and I'm so proud of you. You did a great job. You made it. Put it here. Like, you can choose different colors, as more colors as better, because then you will trick your brain that it's like something funny, happy, different bright colors, right?
Mm.
So you actually put there, and at the end of the day, you come to this wall, or like lift up your head, your eyes, and you're just like, what? Like, I've already accomplished 50 things? No, it's not
Yeah.
me. And
Yeah.
here you're showing your brain, because your brain will say like, you're not good enough, you're not successful, you whatever. And now you just like, come here, my dear brain. Did you see that? Did you see that? This is the proof. This is what I did. So
Yeah.
shut up and go to bed, right? So this is how you're tricking your brain. This is really, really powerful, necessary tool
Exactly.
that you need to use. It's so easy. Those sticky notes, they are everywhere. Just go
Mm.
and borrow from your kid, or
Yeah.
whatever. Just buy it
Yeah.
on Amazon. It's
Yeah.
it's it's easy, but it's so. And me personally, I got to the point when I'm not taking off those notes till the end of the week. And every time I'm passing the wall, I was like, what is that? Who did that? I did that. Okay, I did
Exactly.
that. I did doing a lot of a little of dance or whatever.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah. I like that.
create this moment,
I
create
like
this acknowledgement.
that.
It's super easy, and it will cost you like minor effort,
Yeah.
but it will impact your life, your daily routine, your
Yeah.
success, your mental well-being. You won't even recognize yourself if you will, on daily basis, you would do some little tool. I'm giving more tools on my page, and
Mm.
I just launched the course, so it's more tools is there. But here I showed it's easy, simple.
Mm.
Feel free to use it. It's absolutely gorgeous, and believe me, if it won't help me, excuse me, if it won't help you, please text me, and
Mm.
I'll take this punishment.
No, and the
It will.
reality is, no,
I guarantee.
not every trick or not every skill, not every expertise will be applicable to everyone. And some of you might really struggle with that. You might have dyslexia. The writing might not be the same thing, but
Yes,
there might be an alternative. You could basically, you keep it simple. Just draw a heart for every win that you have got
absolutely.
and put that
Yes.
on the wall. So don't find reasons not to do it. Find ways how to do it that suits you best. I had
Yes.
recently I always experiment with different ways to make things better. So and often you have got some people who say, no, create on a computer in an Excel spreadsheet or on a Google document, create a flight deck or some kind of things where you actually go weekly, summarize your goals, etc., write things down. And I tried that, and man, it doesn't give me anything. But writing
Mm-hmm.
it by hand, as you have suggested, writing it in a journal, therefore journaling, is actually so good. My to-do list, I do no longer do to-do lists. I write win lists. So my win list,
What? Oh my God, that is so,
exactly.
oh my God, I
And
love
what
it.
and depending upon how I feel on the day, often enough on my win list, I just write down okay emails and just tick. And I mean that has taken me 5 minutes, but that tick is so satisfying. That little
Yes,
that's
our brain is craving for this, and our brain loves checklists. And every time you just boom, boom, you just like,
absolutely yeah,
yes, yes, the medal
exactly,
is here, medal
exactly.
is here. It's the way you feeling,
Indeed.
right?
Or when you feel really a bit down and out, I actually make a point of not just ticking, but I write a little win when if it was a little win, as in I brushed my teeth. Okay, little win. Or then in big letters, win, when I did something that I actually really did not want to do. So I literally call it a win list. And
Let me make a joke here. I'm sorry to interrupt. You said about brushing your teeth. Like, do you
uh,
know why Stefan is so happy for him brushing his teeth today? No, why? Because yesterday he forgot, and today is a win.
No, look, it is so simple, and I use the word toothbrushing because most people actually forget about it. I nowadays, as a functional medicine specialist, I'm well aware of my mouth microbiome, and I actually take so much more care of my teeth now. So don't think for a moment that this is
But you
representative of our
actually,
daily life,
this
but
is
isn't.
absolutely right. This is absolutely correct. You saying these small things and you laughing at it, but
Yeah,
believe me, there are so many people who need this to celebrate these simple things.
yeah.
They woke up in the morning, they need to celebrate to just sit up.
Mm,
they
very good.
they they went to the bathroom to yet, because sometimes the level of their frustration, depression is
Yeah,
so deep,
yeah.
and they're so lost. They would just, okay, I woke up, what I supposed to celebrate? My life is mess. Why? What? Like, why, Stephen? What are you talking about? Like, are you crazy? There is nothing for me to celebrate.
Yeah,
And the purpose of all this little celebration, they might sound funny for real, but they are training your brain to produce some dopamine. This
exactly.
is the tricky part. It doesn't matter how big is this celebration, this win.
Hmm. Yeah,
The tricky part here is just you reinforcing your brain to feel a little bit happy,
yeah,
just for a second, just half a second. But that's why I'm saying every single day doing something to celebrate you. And
yeah,
that's why you will, like, in a week, in a 2, in a 3 months,
yeah.
you would say, like, yeah, I was celebrating myself brushing the teeth. Oh my God, how dummy I was. But guess what? That led you become who you are today.
Exactly.
Not, and you didn't stuck in the way you were feeling 3 months ago. So
Beautiful.
this is the tricky part. And
Exactly.
I love having this conversation with you because you dive in it so deep, these little things
Mm.
that people mostly would say, like, it's ridiculous to celebrate me brushing my teeth. No,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is the science behind all this.
It's beautiful, isn't it? Ah,
It is
you see
fantastic.
why you're an amazing woman. Thank you so much for being a guest on my show. If people want to know more about you, if people want to learn more about you, check you out, check your upcoming courses out, where can they find you?
Oh, I think we will leave the links
Yeah.
in the description for this video. I have my website. There's a couple of online courses that will shake your mind, and believe me, you will never. I promise you. If you will find something that I have, I will refund you money. These courses are not refundable, but I will refund if you will find something like this, and they are very, very affordable. And for all the listeners that you have, I have a little surprise. I have a checklist how to celebrate wins. It's absolutely free, no charge, but it's really deep. What they need to do to find me on Instagram, that we will leave the link below this video. Yay, yay, yay. And DM me word win, WIN, and I will send this checklist to them. So
Beautiful.
I am so happy to be here. You are absolutely gorgeous, a fantastic host, beautiful soul, man. I'm so surprised that there are so many people who are deep inside there, who knows their body, who knows their mind, and you are representing all this. I was absolutely honored to be guest on your podcast, on your show. Thank you for having me.
Hmm. And likewise, you were a breath of fresh air, truly. Oh, good. Guys, I could talk for hours with this beautiful woman, but now it is time to wrap it up. I wish you all a fantastic rest of the week. Look after yourself and live with intention. Bye.
I never give up. I never give up. I never give up.